Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So the update is here and we do need to talk about the buffed version of Captain Britain. And well, she's different, but realistically she's primarily buffed as defender. Therefore we will also look at, how it is to fight her own defense and what are going to be the options against her. But first, before that, we want to check her out on attack. Now mine is 6-star maxed out, ascended. Might have done it just now, just because I've been getting strangely large amount of Ascension dust recently, but okay, that's fine. But here we are. Mine's Sig 120. I think it's good enough. She's not maxed, but the point is, I messed up the first fight there in the testing. Let's see how her rotation goes. And effectively, she's kind of Titania-esque. Offensively, if you do want to get anything worthwhile out of her, you need to build your level 3. Do want to weave in some of your heavy attacks here and there to inflict that exhaustion, getting those neuro shocks, because if opponent has exhaustion and you strike them or get struck, then that is when you inflict the neuro shocks. But as we can see, the neuro shocks themselves initially do not do much damage until you can get your promises up, basically, and stack up significant amount of them. So at first, it's not even like that relevant. You just basically want to build your level 3. Kind of similar to Titania or Dust. Yeah, I guess it's kind of similar to Dust in the way that you use her. But yeah, weave in some heavy attacks, build up your level 3, and then, well, drop your level 3. Level 3 gives you the power efficiency passive that's very, very potent, and also enters you in the psionic mode. And at that point, you can start stacking up your neuroshocks while the psionic mode is active. Once you have the power efficiency, which is also as long as psionic mode is active, you can spam your specials much more freely and quickly. And then at that point, start stacking up the special attack damage and everything else. You can, go for level 2s, level 1s. It doesn't really matter that much. You just want to be spamming all the special attacks and be as aggressive as you can. There you go. That is the fight there. It's like 1 minute 20. You can kind of do it faster. But that's your generic rotation, effectively. That is what you're meant to do. Build up your level 3, and then you can start spamming specials. Then your neuroshocks can be paused. All the effects are there. She does have slow on her level 1, which can be quite useful, but I do have an issue with that slow being there, to be honest, because you still don't really have any meaningful access to it until you have built up level 3, therefore not necessarily the type of slow champion I'd like to rely on for that ability. Her slow is more similar to it's just helping you finish out the fights, basically. And here I was trying out like random level 1, level 2 rotations, seeing if she can have any meaningful amount of damage without going to level 3 directly for like shorter fights. And the answer is no. Because, you can enter psionic mode, effectively reaching 10 of your charges, and you get a charge every time you inflict a neuroshock on an opponent. So, and you get 6 charges, I believe, every time you activate a special attack. So you need to be inflicting some neuroshocks. You can activate special attack. You enter the psionic mode. In theory, you can start like doing some damage there, but without the power efficiency, you just don't really get any of those prowesses or nowhere near enough, because every time psionic mode ends, 3 of them get removed. And this is just not viable. She's just really like level 3 or bust type of character. Offensively, you will, never do something else. That's why I also kind of have the issue with that slow being on her level 1, which means that it's unfeasible to rely on her slow for the very first half of the fight up until you build to the level 3. It is very useful to kind of like nuke and finish the fight out if you are dealing with their weight, but I don't consider her to be like purely, easily accessible slow character, just because you need to do significant portion of the fight without having realistic access to it, because you're not meant to use that level 1 until the level 3 has been used. So it's better there than it isn't, but really, I don't, find it to be that potent as many other champions who can just access it by throwing heavy attack or level 1, or that slow is actually part of the rotation. But there we go. So here I'm about to finish this fight off, and that is just awful. That was like a very bad rotation. So you do want to go for that level 3, even in relatively shorter fights. 1 second. I actually needed to play this clip further because there are more fights. My bad. My bad. Let's carry on with the Jaggy fight. Because that is the fight where the slow is needed. As you can see, we're actually going to get good use out of it. But again, that's going to be kind of like a part nuking it. So initially, you do the same thing. You build up level 3, and then you kind of go ham. And it's not even, like, you do want to have one level 2 activated after your level 3. Because that gives you Bulwark passive that allows you to inflict significantly more neuroshocks. And other than that, it doesn't matter which special attacks you use. As long as you have activated one level 2 after your level 3, you're kind of good. You can throw whichever specials you want. So here we can see again, I'm just, like, we're doing everything that I can to not let him throw those specials so I don't have to deal with the Unstoppable, which isn't realistic in outside of Realm of Legends. And now there's Unstoppable, and I activate my level 1, and, at this point it's fine. I can just be as aggressive as I can, but it is what it is. And yeah, at this point I'm going to go for the level 2. We're going to be inflicting the Bulwark, and you just want to, again, spam as many specials as you can. Effectively, after every opponent's special attack, I just want to kind of like finish a combo of mine. Whichever special attack I have at hand, that is the one that I use. I'm not too fast specifically. And you just go for, neuroshocks, big yellow numbers. If it's like yellow 2, if it's yellow 1, you get exhaustions and slow refresh, and opponents can't melting down. Again, is it particularly good or fast? No, it's not awful by any means. Again, that's why I'm saying she's a viable attacker. I don't think she's just good enough as an attacker for most situations. Because these are like 500k health pool fights, which is not too far off what you do need to do in Battlegrounds. They are slightly higher, of course. But it doesn't even matter, because in all of those fights, you just need to get your level 3, and then you spam your specials, and the opponent's going to die very, very quickly afterwards. So there is, no nuking potential at all whatsoever. Every single one of her fights is going to involve, getting to the level 3 and then throwing it, and then starting to spam your special attacks, which is similar to Titania, but Titania has the advantage of, getting extra power by being hit while she's indestructible and unstoppable, getting extra openings. Why that? And then you KO the opponent basically immediately. Here, it would not be the case. You would still have to bait out some special attacks for the opponent. So even though it is a very similar type of build-up, it is nowhere near as quick or effective as Titania's, in my opinion, and it has less utility to it as well. But she will definitely be able to get some fights down for sure. So she's not like Enchantress, where it's just throw her on defense and don't bother playing her on offense ever. And there we go. That was fairly solid there. The quickest fight was like just a bit over a minute, but that was due to me, again, just getting in some stand-up intercepts and not baiting single special attack. Now, how it is to fight her, and this is going to be an example of a champion. If you do not follow the rules, what happens? So this is not an example of how to fight Captain Britain. This is to show what happens when you fight Captain Britain without a good counter, without a good strategy. Because number one, if you do not pay attention to when you knock her down, she's going to enter her psionic mode very, very quickly, and you're going to be getting those neuroshocks. And then she's also going to be stun immune, which is going to complicate things, and that's quite awful. Ideally, as a rule of thumb, you want to knock her down as little as possible. You want to crit against her as little as possible. You do not want to bleed or shock her. And you want to bait out her level 2. Because level 1 gives you exhaustions, and when you have exhaustions on, you just take a lot of damage. And all of that combined, yeah. So again, those are the rules. Bait out the level 2. Do not knock her down excessively. Do not crit much or at all against her. And do not shock or bleed her. Additionally, you cannot rely on big bursts of damage in a single hit. So damage over time effects or multi-hit combos are kind of your friend. So see, that's what happens when you do not fight her properly. Obviously, she does have counters, and some of the best ones are going to be like Bastion. And I think the best counter to her currently is Jack-o'-lantern, because a lot of his damage is coming from those, red bursts, which is very good. So I can kind of double up on the damage there as well. He has access to cowardice that, number one, naturally helps you push her to level 2, and number two is it also reduces her neuroshock potency. And then you can, yeah, kind of nuke her because you do not crit, you do not shock, and everything's kind of working out. So Jack-o'-lantern so far is definitely by far the best counter for her. Additionally, when you do get some neuroshocks on you, if your Jack is awakened, then he's going to be regening. So this was a very quick and stupid idea. Do not use Guardian. Guardian's going to be very bad. This guy, however, turned out to be quite good as well. So I do think Fam is kind of going to be a fairly viable counter, because with Fam, you don't knock the opponent down often. You can technically just about never bait the special attack out of them, so she's never going to enter that psionic mode. And you do have the red numbers as well to supplement your damage. One thing that I do make a mistake in this match is there was no reason for me to throw this level 1. Only thing I accomplished is I got an exhaustion passive on myself, and you know, I kind of slowed myself down. You do not need that level 1. You just want to go for the level 2 instead. As we're going to see here, the bursts there are also still kind of limited to, you know, 3%. But, you know, other than that, Fam is a perfectly solid counter for her. And there are other champions, you know, that will do well. One of the champions I chose to showcase here is going to be Werewolf, because again, with Werewolf, playing him cleverly, you can kind of get around just about every one of her mechanics, because you do not need to knock her down a lot. You do not need to give her a ton of power for her to activate special attacks and enter psionic mode. And then obviously he can deliver a lot of damage via like bursts and raptures and stuff. So here is, you know, just hit her block, for instance, and so you don't need to bother yourself even with block damage yourself, because if she doesn't have a bar of power, then you do not need to block bait heavy attacks for openings. And at this point, you know, I got to level 2, and I will drop my level 2, and then, you know, she can activate her level 2, which is perfectly fine. We're waiting it out during the animation, and then I can carry on in the fight. So I do think Werewolf is going to be a fantastic champion, as well as a handful of others. You just kind of need to know exactly what to avoid. Again, bad things happen against Captain Britain when you knock her down. You bait out too many special attacks, especially special 1, so you do not want her to use special 1, because that places exhaustion on you no matter what. Number 2, she will enter psionic mode more quickly. She's going to be using 1 bar of power per special attack. Number 3 and 4, no shocks and bleeds and crits. And then, yeah, realize that dots are your friends. Special locks apparently are also very, very good options against her. And as I said, there definitely will be more solid options. But she is the type of champion that can and absolutely will wreck you if you do not know exactly how to fight her. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, we have all